Okay, we're live.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock, January 4th, 2023. And welcome everybody to our January meeting. It's on Wednesday because of the holiday on Monday, holiday weekend. And at this time, I'd like to explain the fire exits are out the door to the left, down the stairs, and then out the exit to the end, to the right of the hall and down there. There's an AED if needed for those present at this time. Anybody who has a cell phone or other type of notification instruments, please turn them off so we don't interrupt anybody as part of their presentation. You call the roll, please, Cheryl.
Steve Law.
Here.
Dave Martin.
Here.
Chris Schleider.
Here.
Mark Ballerstein.
Here.
James Nesbitt.
Here.
Steve Hittner.
Here.
Sharon Steigerwald. Here.
Very good. At this time, I'd like to ask if there's any additions, deletions, or other corrections to the December 5th, 2022 meeting minutes. If there is not, I will entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Yes. Second.
Steve Law.
Here.
Dave Martin.
Here. Yes.
Chris Schleider.
Yes.
Mark Ballerstein.
Yes.
James Nesbitt.
Yes.
Steve Hittner.
Yes.
And Sharon Steigerwald.
Yes.
Okay. Before we go into our regular agenda, I'm going to make a nomination for the board approval for the vice chairman, Mr. Dave Martin.
Second. Third.
Call the roll.
Steve Law.
Of course.
Dave Martin.
Abstain.
Oh, God.
That was a test. You missed it, right?
Chris Schleider.
Yes.
Okay. Mark Ballerstein.
Yes.
James Nesbitt.
Yes.
Steve Hittner.
Yes.
Sharon Steigerwald.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Dave, for your continuing service.
No, thank you for
Alrighty.
believing in me.
Let's get on with tonight's meeting. First item on the agenda is for a conservation corridor development permit for 7008 Benedict Beach Road. Okay, owner Jeff Rash, representative Scott Elder.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Basically, we're proposing we're going to put a dock, an L-shaped dock in over at Jeff Flash's house, just like the dock that we put in next door a couple, 2-3 years ago. It's the same thing we always do.
Okay. I see in your packets, we have some committee paperwork.
Yeah, you should have everything. And we're also putting some rock and some fill we're going to add to this existing break wall. We're going to use the rock to track on to build the dock. And then when we're done, that'll go into the wall. And we have permits for that also.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of conditions that you're aware of and used to.
Yep. Nothing's changed in all these years.
Okay, Jimmy.
It's consistent with the LWRP, so it's no issue.
Okay. JP.
Scott's been here many times with similar design projects. He always has the state permits and the federal permits, so I have no concern.
Okay. Keith.
No legal concerns, it's a type 2 action, proceed. Nothing further.
Okay. Cheryl.
I feel the same way, same comments as JP. Scott's been doing this for multiple years.
25.
Yeah, and always delivers a quality product to the residents.
And actually, this will be the last time you guys see me.
Wednesday,
I didn't want to say that.
I sold out.
I'm sorry, we like people who have complete applications.
Yeah, at least some form.
Well, everything, we should be done here in the next month or so. Finish up these, and then I'm going to work for one of my customers. It's gonna be, slide me into retirement.
Okay. Good for you. Sure.
Well, this is my first one of these, but it looked perfect to me, so.
But they are a beautiful product. And then we've had, I've got close to 200 of these on the south shore of Lake Ontario, and went through all the highway, and we've never had to do a repair.
Oh, wow.
Never.
Solid.
Do yourself a favor when he's done sharing his see the end product. Okay, you can use it as a sample.
Okay.
Okay.
No issue. You have any big cruisers come in? No. Okay, well then, you're okay to go.
Thanks.
Steve?
I'm good.
Mark?
No comments, looks fine.
Come on, Jim.
He's got to have something.
Are you gonna do this the same time you're doing races?
Rice, I mean, I think after tonight, I should be able to get Rice's permit, right?
Yes.
So we would start on Rice probably next week. I built all the docks.
Yeah.
Over on Benedict Beach. Actually, I built, I don't know, 300 and some odd feet over there. They're going to different places though.
But just watch the lot line so you don't spill over. And
Lot lines.
You got a lot line, he's right next door to you, isn't he?
What job you talking about?
He's talking about.
Rice is on Newco Drive?
Yeah.
And he's 79.
Yeah, but
That's the next item.
Beach.
Yeah, I know it's the next item. That's the next item. I just,
Lot lines, I mean, we stay minimum of 10 feet off the lot
yeah,
line.
that's, I just, keep that in the back of your mind to watch the lot lines. Because sometimes we're
I got everything staked.
pretty familiar with areas down here. There's some lawns down there that's hard to mow. There's so much growing up. and
I
stuff.
have more than I actually have over on Benedict Beach. I have, I don't know, 400 feet of swamp beds already laid out because he has extensive drainage.
Yes, he does.
That they put in there. So I brought swamp heads in so we don't do any damage to the underground drainage.
Yeah, but just,
I got it.
be courteous to your neighbor.
I always am.
There you go.
Okay, with that being said, we have a motion.
Sure, I'd like to make a motion that we consider the Conservation Corridor Development Permit by Scott Hepler for 7008 Benedict Beach Road to be considered a type 2 action under seeker. Second.
Call the votes, please.
Steve Roth,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
Chris Schleider,
Yes.
Mark Ballerstein,
Yes.
James Nesbitt.
Yes.
Steve Hittner.
Yes.
Sharon Steigerwald.
Yes.
Okay, resolution for approval.
And I'd like to propose that we approve the application of Scott Hepler, owner Jeff Lash, seeking a Conservation Corridor Development Permit for the construction of a temporary 32-foot long by 16-foot wide access pad consisting of 2 to 3 ton boulders to facilitate construction of a non-jurisdictional dock and platform. Also permitted is the construction of a 32-foot wide, 18-foot long stairway on 6-inch diameter piles from the new platform to the lake. The access pad will be removed upon completion of construction. The boulders will be used above the moon-high water level to repair the existing rock abutment. All of these items are within 100 feet of Lake Ontario. The tax account number is 007.01-1-18. This is in the S/R zoning district and the LWRP, CEHA, and floodplain.
Second. Call the votes, please.
Steve Roth,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
Chris Schleider,
Yes.
Mark Ballerstein,
Yes.
James Nesbitt.
Yes.
Steve Hittner.
Yes.
Sharon Steigerwald.
Yes.
Okay, second item on the agenda. Another conservation corridor permit for 7904 Newco Drive
Yes.
for Stephen Rice. Any different?
Yeah, and basically it's the exact same thing. This one's 80 feet. We're going 20 foot over the existing break wall, and then the dock is gonna start at the base of the existing break wall and go out 60. So the total length of this dock is 80, but 60 over water.
Good. Janine?
Same thing, it's consistent, I have no issues.
JP?
No engineering concerns.
Keith?
Type 2, no concerns.
Cheryl?
I have no concerns.
Sure.
I was fascinated with all this paperwork. It was amazing. Just amazing. I have no issues.
No concern.
Also.
Ran with
Okay, no comments.
Jim?
I'm good. Make a motion to close action on type 2 under seeker.
Second it?
Steve Law,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
Chris Schleider,
Yes.
Mark Bellerstein,
Yes.
James Nesbitt,
Yes.
Steve Hittner,
Yes.
Sharon Steigerwald.
Yes.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the Conservation Corridor Development Permit for Scott Helper, 7904 Newco Drive. Owner Steve Rice seeking a Conservation Corridor Development Permit for the construction of a temporary 60-foot by 16-foot wide access pad consisting of boulders to facilitate construction of non-jurisdictional dock and platform. Also permitted is the construction of an 8-foot by 80-foot long dock. The access pad will be removed upon completion of construction, and the boulders will be used above mean high water to repair the existing rock weatherment. All of these items are within 100 foot of Lake Ontario. Tax account number 007.01-1-18. This is in the SR zoning district and the LWRP, CHA, and floodplain.
Steve Law,
Everybody second it?
Second it. What'd you say for the tax account number?
007.01-1-18.
So that, this one on mine is 004. That tax account number is the same as the one before. I wonder if we got a typo there. Oh, okay.
so
I mean, I think that was
That is the wrong tax account number.
it is.
yeah,
I don't have
good
mine.
catch, Dave.
So it would be 004.
Take care of that. Take care of that, thank you.
Finish correctly?
It will be corrected. Okay, now you ready? Steve Law,
Yeah.
Dave Martin.
Yes.
Chris Schleider,
Yes.
Mark Bellerstein,
Yes.
James Nesbitt.
Yes.
Steve Hittner.
Yes.
Sharon Steigerwald.
Yes.
Very good.
Okay, thank you very
Good luck.
much. Cheryl, Monday?
Monday.
Be good for the permit?
Monday would be good to come on in. Is
Okay.
that the 9th?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Monday.
Okay, thank you very
You're
much.
gonna be able to dodge all the sewer work, right?
Oh, that's it. That's all in the front. We're good. Thank you
Make sure
very
you put your pants on both sides of the pipe.
much. On the little tiny bike.
Your little tiny pipe.
You guys have a great evening.
So thanks, Scott.
Monday, but the 17th, right?
Yes.
For the other one. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thank you.
Just up to Steve Rice house this afternoon.
Yeah, okay.
About the
All
same.
right, next item on the agenda
No, he's,
would be, can I have some word, please? Next item on the agenda would be 47 King Street for Michael Boss. It's commercial site plan modification. Okay. Mr. Boss.
I am.
Okay. Give us a brief explanation and what we're doing.
I leased the property from Pete Kruger. I own a trucking company known as Boss Diesel Service LLC. I'm a heavy highway contractor. Pave main expressways in the summer. I haul road salt in the winter all over the state. Pretty much all I do is park my trucks there and store parts. Some of our parts are large, some of them are small, some of them are tools. Some of our tools are large, some of them are small. We refuel our trucks there, and that's where we park all our tractors and trailers.
Okay.
Essentially a storage facility.
I'm looking for a sketch and a site plan.
I provided 12.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I got this.
Thank you.
I got this one.
That's about area review.
JP. You had
I
you had submitted a letter.
I did submit a letter. The comments are very minor and in the fact that there's no real big site changes occurring. The application did say there's going to be an above-ground storage tank, and West Creek runs right behind the site, which puts it in the floodplain and in the conservation development overlay district. So I would just be aware that you may want to consider conditions about above ground storage tank. Secondly, parking. There's been many commercial uses in here. I think there was a dance studio and some other things here that we've looked at those things before that I think like we've had to do many times with the plaza on Town Line Road and the strip mall up the street. It's just documenting where things go, where is parking, are things sufficient and available. So
Okay.
So everybody's aware, my fuel tank's a certified tank. It's 10 gauge double wall, so it's a tank inside of a tank. It's not a rusted out piece of junk or anything like that.
Keith, you had some considerations?
A few things. Building on JP's comment, since they require a conservation corridor permit, we need an application for that, which we don't have before us as yet. A fresh site plan would be desirable, but that's certainly the board's pleasure as to whether there's enough going on here to merit that. What I received by email, perhaps you received this, this seems a bit dated and there's only so much it tells you. I understand it's for storage, but usually even a storage facility has some sort of parking someplace and none of that's indicated here. I don't know if King Street is a private drive of some sort. I'm guessing it is because it's called out by Library and Page. And I mean, that's something that would be nice to know. We should have a short form environmental assessment form at minimum submitted with this application. Just about every commercial use requires that, and we haven't seen that. And the rest of it is, standard site plan kind of stuff.
Okay. Short form's been mailed out. Cheryl, did you
I've
say?
actually given to everybody in person tonight.
Okay.
Because I had already emailed and called them about it.
This is more of a scoping session and trying to figure out exactly what he needs. Where on this site plan are you going to be parking the tractors?
Can I view it?
Yeah.
I just found that like the other day.
Oh, this is not.
Yeah.
That show better.
I don't even know if it shows the blue building across the street. That's how old that is.
This is your,
Yeah, so, right here where it says Boss Diesel parking.
okay. And your equipment and repair stuff's all here.
Yeah, that's 47 King Street.
Okay.
Oh. So that'll be on the other side of King Street.
I'm sorry?
That'll be the other side of King Street from the...
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he said he was leasing the property to the same person, yes?
Yes.
And that's just open land?
Yeah, it was an overgrown concrete pad, so we cut it down and everything. It was overgrown. There was all kinds of trash and everything back there. We brought a dumpster in, cleaned it all up. And
Where's the fuel?
right there, where it says fuel transfer tank.
Side of the building. Is there a code issues or an issue with the fire marshal for that location?
Fire marshal stated that there's two different codes depending on what the tanks hold, that they're gonna have to be 25 feet on each side, from the tank to each building, and then there's one that says it's 50 feet from the tank to each building, which he doesn't have that space there. And West Creek is right behind it.
Would it be more appropriate over by where the tractors are stored?
It would be, other than the fact there's no electric back there, and it's an electric pump.
Well, Kruger's, you have more storage over here, you might be able to get access to it.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if he has electric back there. The thing that worries me is kids like to mess around back there, so that could become, that was my concern. It becomes a hazard, some kid punches a hole in it or
I
something.
can understand that, but unless we get some kind of relief or some explanation from the fire marshal, and in the future, if you want to send him a memo, I would like those things in a meeting like this.
I would do that.
And you can sign my name. It's not fair to the applicant. Okay, so that's a question. It's maybe not insurmountable, but it's a safety issue for both the fire department and us, and we just need to verify that.
It's very strange. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
No, you go ahead.
I talked to BJ 2 weeks ago, the fire marshal, and I said, what's the deal here? I want to be within code. I don't want to make anybody mad. It's not what I'm here for. But
Try not to.
I said, what's going on? And he says, how big is the fuel tank? He says, 1,000 gallons, certifications and all that stuff doesn't come in until over 1,000 gallons. And he says, right. He says, it's not leaking. He says, I'd like to see some more room, but he says there's really nothing that's hurting. So it's not in writing, of course, but if he'd submit something in writing, it'd certainly be helpful, because I can't do anything about it.
That would be adequate. All right, along with the proximity to siding or something else like that is fire resistant, okay? There's a lot of different coatings and applications and stuff, the curtains that can go on that.
Right.
Okay.
I guess what I'm getting at is if I don't know, I can't do. You know what I mean?
Right, no, absolutely, and we want you to be educated when you leave here, so you don't have to come back 4 or 5 times.
That'd be great.
Okay.
That'd be great.
So, with it, discussion being said, thank you.
There's this paper.
Yeah, thank you. Do we have any other issues if these items are addressed? Okay, based by both your letters, okay, and the observations on the part of legal counsel, and with Cheryl. Is that adequate if we get some answers over the next, between now and the next meeting?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then I'll leave it open
Mostly concerned about
to,
the tank. Mostly concerned about the tank, so.
yes, Sharon.
Yes, I went down there today, it was like about 8 feet of space there in that alley. So that was my concern too, is that tank, and then, whatever you're storing in there, that dance studio and the gym next door. As far as firewalls.
Well, it's those questions need to be
Right.
addressed. Steve?
Well, I'm the same. I wear a different hat in a different municipality. I would not allow that. It's just, it's a 1,000-gallon tank right behind the dance studio within 8 feet. I don't believe there's not what you can do for protection of that under the code. I actually read the fire code in regard to this, so. BJ finds a way around it, then I guess we go with it, but I would not sign.
I've
I
got no
personally would
problem
not sign.
with having it moved. I've got no problem with that at all.
Yeah.
Thing is, where would you move the tank?
Well, we would have to do something different. I'd probably buy a 3,500-gallon fuel truck.
Or just have the truck sitting there?
Then it's 3,500 gallons, but it's on a truck. You know what I mean? A little different. So that's my next move anyway. I'm getting too big to 1,000 gallons only lasts about 3 days. So that's
Put it in the back corner of the building on a cage. The back corner of the building on a cage, so they couldn't mess with it.
no. It's going to have to be something like that. And kids are pretty pretty rowdy down there.
Oh, I know.
They destroyed one of my Peterbilt hoods down there. I don't know what the hell. Must have taken them hours, but they got it.
There's security
They
says.
say Hamlin is where the heart is.
Yeah, just ask them.
And a diesel fuel. Somewhere for that.
Is there security cameras on the buildings and stuff?
There's no lighting down at the end of the road. There's a street light down there, but it's been burned out for, I guess, like 6 years or something. And, but no, we have some cameras on the 47 King Street building. We had some, you pay a monthly subscription, and it's a camera down there, but the batteries die in the cold within days. So, but we do the best we can, you know, and keep everything locked.
JP, is that a town road or?
Should be. Yeah, King
Yeah, as I said, a town calls it.
I've always thought so, but keep this scene library and page on it, which would
Is
suggest.
there any way we can look into that? Because if there's a light pole down there that we've been paying electric for and the light ain't working, that isn't the first pole in this town, all right, that we haven't had. And it'd be a good spot to start with LEDs. But,
You can keep the kids from.
we've had some problems with the electric company as it is, so the supervisor knows about it, but here's another instance. I mean, we had a tragic incident on that street
Yes.
a few years back. And I just can't believe that the electric company can't step up to the plate. And if you needed help from the sheriff's department, they write a letter of recommendation.
Keith, I don't know if you noticed on this plan, upper right corner, the area of the road is to be conveyed from Duffy Mott to somebody.
Sometimes.
Goes off the edge, so maybe it was dedicated, not originally, but
Well, conveyed and dedicated.
who knows? Yeah, conveyed to two. I'm just noticing that this map is all about that.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah.
There's a gate, I'm gonna say 3/4 of the way down King Street that stops, and,
Yes. That's why, because of the tragedy that
Okay.
happened, that's why the gate is there.
okay.
Also, there's a hydrant down there. I don't know if it's worked for a long time either.
Everybody should come look at that one.
Okay, well, we'll keep going down the line, see.
Do you have a clear idea what you need to do?
As far as paperwork, no. As far as moving a fuel tank, yes. Okay.
I think we're looking for the form filled out, short form.
Sure, yeah, which they both have, yes, they'll get it to me by tomorrow or next day.
Okay.
We'll have that.
And then the other paperwork we're gonna need on our own.
Okay.
Sir, I'd like to say one thing too, is that for both of these applicants, it was never conveyed to them at the time that they both signed a lease for those buildings that they needed to come to the planning board. It was not conveyed to them by the owner of the building.
Unfortunately, that's the way we do business.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm sorry that wasn't shared with you.
Not your fault,
Yeah.
not your fault. I came down here and everything was put in perspective, everything was super simple, on a 15-minute conversation. We cut out the middleman, that's all we did,
Yeah,
so.
all right, very good. Mark?
The only comment I have is I think one that Keith mentioned, it'd be nice if we had a clear description of what your intended use is of these two areas, and how you plan on operating. Just a little bit more other than operating a diesel trucking facility or whatever it says.
As far as what?
Now, what are you gonna do there? Some simple
Storage.
Drawing.
Both are just storage. Then
I park the trucks down there where it says Boss Diesel truck, or Boss Diesel parking. That's where they park, that's where they, you know, so I
so
can't
what about the
park 'em on
building?
site. Everything gets stored in there, all of our spare parts.
Okay, so it's
trucks
just
that I
storage and there was no-
Exactly.
So I didn't catch that in any of the written submission. Is it stated anywhere? I just missed it?
Letter of intent.
Something just, what you just said in writing, and we got it, and we're doing it. That would-
So they can be included in the short form?
It could be wherever you want to do it, I just didn't find it. I had a hard time understanding what was going to happen here for sure. So, That'd be great, thank you.
Jim?
Okay, Secretary, do you do your own oil changes?
Not anymore. We used to, but we're
Okay, because, and how many in your fleet?
9.
You got 9 vehicles, so you could accumulate quite a bit of contaminated oil over a period of year or so if you were.
If we did our own stuff like that, we could, but we don't.
And on your aerial view, right in the corner where that catch basin is, I looked at it this morning and I looked at it again about 2 o'clock when it was raining hard. And that catch basin, it appears as though it goes to the east into the creek. You know, it's a pretty good flow in there. That wasn't 100 foot from where you want to put your tank. Now, your tank might not leak, but you might have an operator that spills someplace filling or something. So it's going in that catch basin. If it touches the ground, that road drops about a foot in elevation.
Oh, yeah, and I noticed that. I noticed that when the pickup truck was down there leaking tranny fluid all over the ground into the catch basin.
Go right in the catch basin. You just put a little soap in there, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you gotta look at that catch basin, and I imagine somebody in the town could tell us just where that catch basin dumps.
No.
Because the buildings on the other side of the street are in the way from being a straight line to the creek. But that creek that runs down there backs up to all the yards. Mm-hmm. All the yards go that way, and you know, and it's an active creek quite a bit of the time when you're 100 foot away from quite a bit of amount. So, and the last thing I had is concerned about the outdoor storage, where you got your storage facilities, but time of year, if you're not real busy, it can look pretty trashy in a hurry.
Okay.
You know, and like out and back, you got 3 10-wheelers out there and a couple of flatbeds.
I've got my low boy, 5 flow boys, 4 tractors, and 3 dump trucks.
Yeah, there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, how many is too many because of the other businesses and the cars coming and going? You know, and when you get in there and you get accustomed to the dance studio and stuff, you know, and because I know you guys are going to be working a lot of overtime, and coming and going evenings and stuff, and all the traffic.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
How does where I'm parking affect the dance studio?
Affects the people coming and going to other businesses.
But I'm parked at the end of the road. I'm parked at the...
And there's not enough parking for the dance studio or the turnoff. Well, maybe that wasn't a good example. All I'm saying is if you got too much junk outside the building, it's going to be too much junk.
Isn't he parking down there?
He's parking way down
I
there.
don't park out. Those aren't all my cars parked out.
Those aren't all yours.
No, I don't.
Yours is all your drivers. Your drivers out on the ramp?
My drivers have been laid off 2 months.
Oh, your drivers are laid off. Okay, well, I know your drivers are.
Those are all people from the karate studio and the shoes.
All I'm saying is you're bringing in heavy equipment.
Okay.
Coming in the road, watch the traffic.
Oh, I see the traffic. I'm a professional driver.
Yeah, so do I.
So, these people, I got ran off from the front of my building because a lady told me I could not park there. I pulled up in front of my building to unlock the door, and a lady came up and MF'd me up and down, told me what a piece of shit I was, and everything, because I parked in front of my building to unlock the door. And he says, excuse me, miss, I don't know what you can't park there, this is our parking.
So this afternoon, in the rain, where I'm trying to see if this catch basin's alive or not, and you must have wound her up before she got to me. Be careful, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've never had any issues with hitting cars or anything like that. We're not. But that was the other thing I was going to ask you about this on-street parking. We got chewed for it pretty good, and we didn't even park on the street. And all day long, all night long, people are coming to us telling us, hey, you can't park on the road. And I'm not parked on the road, I'm not, my pickup truck's inside. And they, well, you can't park out there. I'm not. And so everybody's kind of hollering at me for some stuff that I'm not doing. And
I think they're talking about winter parking, because you can't park there from November 14th, I think
Well,
November
it seems
14th
it's-
till April something.
Parking there seems to have been lackadaisically approached for a long time.
Yes.
It's a very narrow street, and that's something that can be looked at by the town board.
There is plenty of
And
parking.
it doesn't matter whether it's seasonal or not.
Right, but there's plenty
Okay,
of parking in there.
you can pass an ordinance, make that road no parking zone. Okay. And they'll take care of it, then they'll be forced to get parking in another place. Okay, most people that are complaining and had all this luxury for a long time might find out they're gonna have to go someplace else and park, like across the street up on the pad, okay?
That's what they do
So-
have parking, there is a lot there.
Right. So, and this question goes all the way back into the 90s and before that.
Right.
Okay, nothing's been done.
Park on the street for 10
Okay,
or something.
I'd like to move on with the next item. This gentleman's here to bring himself back into conformance, okay? Not to have an argument or a debate with, all right? He's been given some direction. If there's some stuff that's been left out, I'm sure with your notes, Cheryl, you'll be able to recreate it. And let's move on from this and try to keep you in the limelight and,
I'm all good. I'll be in contact with Cheryl.
Yes.
We'll make it happen.
right. I like Ken doing attitudes. All right.
We're a work in progress. That's all we do, right?
Very good. We're gonna go to the next item on the agenda, and thank you for your time.
You bet. Have a good night, guys. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And if he's able to come up with some things before the next meeting and stuff, we can put them on the agenda. He's more than halfway there.
He's got until the 17th,
So we might want to take a look at where the trucks go and a drawing and all that other stuff, but
Okay,
this needs to be done.
okay.
Okay, next one is 53 King Street. Application for Jeremy Bauer, owner, Mr. Kruger, another modification. Okay, and you are,
Hi, I'm Jeremy Bauer.
how are you doing, Mr. Bauer?
All right for yourself.
Related to Bowers of Hilton?
No.
Oh, okay. Just wondered. That makes a difference. Brief description of what you plans. This is a tough topic.
I can see that. You guys been throwing out all night. So basically, I've been running my business since 2017. I started it. Been doing it out of my own garage. Leased this building in hopes to run stuff out of there. There's too many bikes, too small of a house for me to do it there. So I need somewhere to have bikes when I'm not working on them and not trip over myself every day. So small engine repair, pretty much working on everything from motorcycles, ATVs, dirt bikes, that kind of stuff. No cars, no trucks. And pretty much do the same thing I've been doing, but out of there. So again, I wasn't just found out that I needed to actually approach you guys for this, and so I'm here. So
Okay. Do we have any conservation corridor issues with this one?
No, we don't.
It's far enough away on the other side of the road. Okay.
I don't see any outdoor site changes, so otherwise it.
And the inside is very clean, very organized.
it's cleaner than when I got there. I'll tell you that.
Okay. Do you have some drawing? Keith, do you have some
My concerns,
considerations?
well, yes, my concerns are pretty much the same for this application as they were for the prior one. We need the seeker short form EAF so we can do our environmental due diligence. There's a question as to whether you want a site plan or not. Again, this thing looks like somebody's survey map. It wasn't really intended as a site plan. And then you get into issues of parking, if there's any exterior parking, which is almost usually the case. Dumpsters, ADA, all the rest, and maybe fleshing out a letter of intent. The letter of intent is helpful not just for the presentation, but for the file. Should there be any code enforcement issues later, that's what we based our permitting on in part. So it's helpful to have. I have nothing further.
On that, just, you brought up the parking, and I'm a little bit different as of right now, at least I'm not open to the public, I'm appointment only, so when somebody drops a bike off is the only time that the doors are open to the public. I'm not a stop in whenever you want, I don't want people in the shop every day, I don't get anything done anyways with them, so drop the bike off and you leave.
15 minutes standing.
Sometimes they'll talk for hours. You know, they're like, "Why is my bike done?" I'm like, "It's because you're still here, man." So,
Yeah, I get it. We took it out of the living room. Well, there are some site plan issues as well as with the other one that even the sketch plan, other than this aerial or something like this is where you have your entrances and.
does mine have that? Did you the drawing?
Well, you have
I
that.
do.
You have like a floor plan.
Yeah, that's what
What else is a site plan saying outside the building?
I mean,
there is no space outside the building.
Well, that's what I mean. It's,
He's only got a part of the building.
right, you only got part of the building, if it's something done a little bit more to scale and you know, I realize this is a commercial zone and everything, but we need to know where the edge of the road is, we need to know where the North Hill is, Jim's got a compass. If there's anything else we should know about the edge of the road, your hours of operation.
Those hours are on the application.
the phone lines are open 9 to 5, but it's when I got time, if I gotta leave for kids or something. That's part about being my own boss. I make the hours, so. And again, it's, you know, not a public.
How many square feet you got there in your building?
Pete said 2,000, but when I talked to him about the other building that Mike guy was renting, he said that it was larger than the one I'm in. When I looked at both, that one seems a lot smaller. 2,000 is what I was told, so I want to say it's like 80 by 40 or something like that, maybe a little longer, 90. I can't remember it, honestly.
Where's the employee parking gonna be for yourself?
Yeah, there's one space in front of the door that you can pull in that's not road parking, it's in front of, actually off past the white line. And then I was told when I did the lease that the parking that's in front of Pete's, the building, the storage building, it's not attached to it on the right side, it'd be on the right side of me. There's about 7 or 10 spots that have the cement barriers in front. You can pull right into it. He said those were dedicated, but I've never, besides somebody backing up and dropping the truck off, like I said, I don't have employees. I don't have anybody but customers dropping the stuff off, and it's, so, but yes, he said, that's what he said, that was dedicated parking along with the dumpster on the back that whole entire street uses, you know. I'm assuming he leases all those buildings, so one dumpster is what is given.
Where do you think you use a bike rack?
Pete's had the dumpster that is at the end of King Street. There's one dumpster at the end of King Street right before the gate, and that's the dumpster that's used for that building, the studio, karate studio, his building.
Karate studio.
The more I'm listening to these two applications, and correct me if I'm not right. Most of these issues are for an owner that owns a very large portion of adjacent to our right-of-way, or to the right-of-way. It would behoove a plan of some sort that would show places for people to park, handicap parking, and, you know, who has what and where. And this is a struggle that we've had no matter what happens in this commercial development area. And this is beside what it has to do with you, but it would clear up an awful lot
I could get the order too.
if we can get the owner to become part of this, applications, if you will, to bring commercial property in somewhat of a compliance level.
Just a good site plan for his property, with all the different uses and where the parking.
He's getting the benefit of lease dollars and all that other stuff, you know,
Well, I
from
can
you
see he's a
folks.
businessman.
Okay.
Being down here,
Well,
I mean,
yeah, I get it, but I'm saying ultimately,
yeah.
it's his responsibility to provide you with a safe piece of property.
Well, that's just, that's another, like, something I actually wanted to bring up, just because I don't know, and, what am I physically, like, when that building was not leased at all, and there was no tenant in there, I would assume that there still has to be code kept with nobody in there for certain things, right? And what am I physically responsible for as a leasee in a commercial property, like, you know, exit signs, fire extinguishers, whatever type of sprinkler system is in there, whatever has to do with the building, am I?
That's your lease agreement determines what share of responsibility you have. Nothing that we would do. That's right.
It would be the fire marshal, would need to come in and, he was
That's not what he's
there.
asking.
He's asking, is he responsible, and it's between him and the owner,
Oh, that's,
and the lease
Actually,
agreement.
both on the hook.
Yeah,
If
the
it
owner
was
definitely.
in my lease, hey, you're responsible for, to keep all your fire extinguishers up to date, or whatever, who is,
As between you and your landlord.
you know, he don't wanna do that, I know he don't want to.
As between you and your landlord, you should sit down and have your attorney go over the lease, and you can talk about whose responsibilities are what under the lease.
Yeah.
But under the law,
That's what I mean.
the property owner and the person operating whatever occupancy are both on the hook. They're both liable, and both can be sued.
Unless it's stated in that lease.
No,
Okay.
that's a different
situation.
issue between you and him.
Yeah.
But yeah, bad things happen, everybody can get rounded up and get sued.
Yeah, I believe that. Seems to be the new age of the world.
Nothing new about that one.
I mean, the application on its merit there isn't anything really wrong with it, except for what I'm hearing is the ability to address codification issues have not been met.
It looks to me like what's being operated here is some variant of an office park. Because we have buildings on one side of the street, we have parking on the other, we have the dumpster, God knows where, and it's all has one owner. There really should be a site plan for the whole mess.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That would resolve this, and the site plan would settle issues about who owns King Street. By the way, I went to the county clerk's website a few minutes ago. That library page comes up with a mortgage document. It has nothing to do with what's here. So I don't know that the town owns that. But whether they own it or not, I mean, there's still a requirement for a site plan. And if you had a master site plan, every time somebody came in,
Right.
you could, if it was something significant, you could go back to the original engineer and have them freshen it up. But even if there weren't, you'd have the plan.
Yes.
You'd have that big picture of the whole
Well,
project.
then, Cheryl, you should ask for that. You should ask for that from the landlord.
I'm going to.
Okay.
And we did the same thing when Trulson's
Yeah.
had multiple businesses. And Town Line, when the supermarket closed and multiple things came in, it's just a site plan so we understand what's going on all these sub parcels or sub.
Was there anything in the file from Crosby's? When that originally came out, what was it named?
The Crosby only went as far as,
Was
Now, I had that, it just shows the gas pumps, where they are, the outline of the store, and the outline of where the car wash was. That's
And
it,
that's it. That's it.
nothing else.
So,
That's the building I tried to get into, that one, that old car wash.
The car wash.
Really?
He doesn't, yeah, he's storing his, Kevin, he just stores cars and he don't wanna get rid of it.
Oh, okay.
well,
Kevin Luke.
Yep,
No, he will.
he's got some nice cars.
we have a lot of the same issues we had with the other
Yeah,
gentlemen.
I'll do that.
Okay. A lot of this can be cleaned up, and it's to the owner's benefit, okay, to come up with something as far as a site plan, showing what you have out front, okay? You know, someone can start from what was done in 1990. There's gotta be something on record someplace, all right? And there's gotta be a survey document someplace, because most of this is like a tape location map, and that's what you're
I pulled all the old files out today.
well, I'm just saying, there might be
Very
someplace.
lean, very lean.
Well, I would think that the owner of the property probably has something.
I will find it tomorrow.
Okay.
I will bet you he does not have a site plan.
I would, so really,
I'm gonna say,
I'll bet he has at best a survey map, and what we really need is a site plan, not a copy of the survey map.
I wish you could have done
He's still got his first dollar.
He still got his first dollar.
I want to make sure that you understand something, that what we're talking about is the owner's responsibility by the site plan of the whole building. So it's all like you comes up to rent a space, you know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah, they're,
I want to make sure he has to do a site plan of the whole building.
Right. And the other thing people don't understand either, and we're not in a, this isn't a denial mode at this time, this is discussion, this is scoping.
no, I understand, same
Okay.
thing, Mike said, I'm here to pretty much,
Our zoning code, whether it is the town of Hamlin zoning code, is based on a template that is dictated to us by the state of New York, building codes and fire prevention codes. Okay, they're very similar codes all over the state, because the state relinquishes to the localities called municipal home rule, all right? So you're not gonna have a very different type of request or the owner in any other town, village, or anything else within the state of New York. Steve, am I correct? Am I correct? Okay. So it's not Hamlin being bad people, it's not the, but we're trying to get everything in the way it should be.
no, that's good, first time, do it right, and
Okay.
I don't have to mess around with nothing else, I don't know.
All right.
Chris, what's left that we really need from, we know there's no outside work done.
I got nothing going
We don't
on
have nothing going
outside the
outside.
building,
Just, what do we really need? He's got a lease, he's good there, he's set up, he's working. Just what do we need? He has to know before he goes out the door.
Well, what he has to know is to make it legal for him to keep conducting the business without a bunch of liabilities to clear up the leasing issues.
such as,
You have to have, if you're moving into a new place, you need to have a kind of a COC, certificate of compliance, okay? Or your insurance won't be applicable, okay? So it means like a C of O, all right? Anytime a business changes, all right? So there's certain things.
Yeah, I wanna make sure that, you know, you're dead on, you know just what you need when you go out. Yeah. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that. But I think he's, you know, we've made a mistake on a few commercial businesses in the past. Don't wanna do it again, so I wanna make sure we've dotted every I and crossed every T. And I think he's pretty well, almost, he's set to go. You know, the guy's working, he's doing his business, the shop is clean.
First off, he doesn't need a CFC or C of O on a business, no, unless there's modifications made to anything in the code. When people change businesses in my municipality, it's, as long as they don't modify anything within the building, it's a use that's just, if it's allowed by code, it's allowed by code. All right?
So the only issue would
I do
be,
not issue a CFC or C of O for, if they're just changing hands of one business to another, as long as it doesn't change the use.
That's the word, changing.
You know what I mean, like a major change of use. But as far as him, my only question here, is there a firewall between?
So there is a firewall in between, Pete's side and where I am now, but I don't believe there's a firewall. The gym, they built a wall, obviously, you can't get through it, but I don't believe it's brick, or I don't know what kind of material they use to actually put that in. It's back there.
It would be a real important thing to verify with your landlord that there is a firewall between you and the karate studio.
The gym.
So what?
The gym.
Yeah, so that would, how do I find that out? And what do I do when I find that out? You know, what is...
That would be a leash breaker for me, because you have responsibility. When you have vehicles, you got motorcycles, you have fuel in the tank, you have a responsibility or possibility of having an accident and affecting the building next door.
Yeah.
And if you're running an engine, you would have a possibility affecting the patrons next door. So that, I would talk to Scott or talk, you know.
I actually work on some of Scott's bikes. He brings them right there and ride them to work, and I have worked with him since I've been in there.
I did a lot of work in that building back in the day, so that's why I'm asking, because I
try
don't
to
believe
work
it's a
him to
firewall.
clean him, honestly. When I know he's got like busy nights at like 5 or whatever, he does karate, studio classes and stuff. I pretty much leave and say I'm not doing stuff tonight. You know, I can hear them clear as day. I can assume they hear.
What was the prior use of this? What was the prior use of this part of the building?
It used to be a bunch of things. Used to be archery. Used
shop.
to be a woodworker was in there. There was a
mechanic, who's a mechanic in there?
I thought
That seems like a change of use.
Before me was rapid dry.
Seems like a change of use.
Storage.
There was a mechanic before.
There's been a lot of, my dad's,
We need to talk to
when
them.
he was younger, then, I forget his name, who had that shop there.
And Mike Boss had a
was an
furniture
archery.
They had that big arrow on the side of
right
the
before Mike
building,
Boss
right
moved
there.
in.
Is there an exhaust fan in there?
There is, yep, there was one in the back, it's probably a,
Does it work?
yep.
Okay.
I went through most of it all, like, since I've got there, I haven't done any type of electronic, like, nothing like that. Everything seems to work without issue so far. I mean, it's definitely an old building, but don't hold heat for anything. And,
Everything with a furnace.
yeah, there's 2 of them in there. You can run them all day, and then you shut it off for about an hour, and it's right out that ceiling.
The only thing I hope of the board, we don't, in my opinion, we don't hold him responsible for the owner's sins for a site plan. That as long as he provides us with enough information for what he's doing based on the site, that we can do what we gotta do without, you know,
And that's why he's here.
yeah,
That's why he's
yeah,
here.
I don't,
They
I
both,
just, yeah.
No. To help.
Parking, handicap parking, hours of operation,
I'm gonna contact Mr. Cooper.
and
Even the handicap parking, he doesn't have people that stay there, they drop and go.
Yeah.
He should not be responsible for a handicap space in there.
If I have my own one spot, like I said, when they pull in, they're off the road and
You're not operating a business that requires, to me by code, that would require a handicap space. You're not a retail operation.
yeah, that's why I've been like that for so long, because I didn't want to have to ever deal with traffic or people literally, just showing up.
And if you need to park your own vehicle, you can park right in front of the overhead door.
I can pull right in, it'll go right inside in the winter mostly.
well, still like to have a site, overall site plan.
Talk about that.
We still need to have some conversation with the fire marshal,
Yes, I will.
you know, as well as
I
with
will
other
have a
ones.
conversation that was reported to us, I was told.
Right. And,
We did call the DEC. I mean, I did call the DEC. The DEC went down there because there was a diesel fuel spill.
yeah,
And that's how this all came about, because I had a complaint from the dance studio that the diesel fuel smell was in the dance studio. She was concerned that her girls were getting sick,
yeah.
so that's why we called the DEC right away.
Are there other different owners on here that we haven't really, of all these different, I don't know how many properties are owned by the same individual?
Not that I know, he has storage at the end, and then there's you.
He owns the entire King Street. He owns the dance studio, the gym.
Yes, that whole group of buildings. But I don't think there's any but you're in
Nobody,
here.
the only, that
Mike.
old car wash across is the only one that's closer that he does not own.
Wait, I don't know.
And I thought that they had still owned that, when you were talking about that parking lot, that big parking space, I thought was still actually part of K&K.
I don't,
Cause that used to be that lot.
I can't recall, but I think that is designated parking for all his buildings.
All the people that come there to park there.
Well, everybody supposedly has, I gave him all the placards to put in all the businesses that
There was another building at one time where that-
November 14th, I think, until April 1st.
That bar comes down, it's tight, that road, it's really,
Yeah.
really skinny.
I'll tell you what, if he can't keep heat in that place, there's no fireproof wall. That's,
And then tomorrow, you'll be able to, for sometime this week, make an appointment to sit down with Cheryl and go over what, the things that we discussed, taking into mind what, you know, Steve has said here tonight and what our attorney has said and everybody else. But the overall landlord is the one that should be responsible for providing a site plan for a commercial. I mean, how many properties does he own there? Okay.
All of it, sounds like 4 or 5.
Yeah, all of it.
Several tenants.
And,
If I may, passing along the opinion that if we don't get a professionally engineered site plan for all of his holdings over there,
Yeah.
that his tenants risk losing the permits they've applied for might be motivational.
Okay, yeah. I can usually deal with him.
all right, let's see if we can move this forward and
Okay.
do what we want to do.
Sir, I do want to say that fire marshal has to be more involved.
Oh,
Now,
absolutely.
written reports from him. Okay?
When you're having a meeting going over what can happen in the next couple of months is one thing. All right. But we need something that we can hang our hat on.
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay. And any further discussions we can have at another time. But thank you for coming.
So,
Are you clear with what you need to do?
you want my honest opinion? Not really, like as far as like a site plan, I understand that, but like as far as, you know, that firewall, like being on that side, I don't know how, I don't know how to figure out, I mean, when I cut a hole in and see what kind of material it is, or like, I don't know if when that wall was physically built, you know.
And I don't even know if that's your responsibility. I
Well,
think
that is my point, if I'm not allowed to,
Yeah.
not, I don't know if that would consider, like, if you guys would turn it down because that instantly now or whatever, but if I can't run a business out of there, there's no, like, and especially, you know, I should have been here a long time ago.
Did you sign a lease?
I did.
It is possible that the lease is conditioned upon getting permits that are suitable for you. And if you find out that the work is, well, for one, oftentimes the tenants are responsible for doing the build-out work.
Yeah, I believe that.
So if that's the case, it may well be that you're on the hook to pay for whatever improvements are necessary to make the space habitable for your intended use. I don't know, I haven't seen your lease, and that's something you need to discuss with your attorney.
Are you here tomorrow? How much you charge?
He's not gonna do that.
Yes, all right, well, I guess,
prefer four wheels. So we're-
Let's do it, all right?
So we're gonna go one more time.
Yeah,
What is your responsibility to deal with, and what
I believe so.
we're to deal with?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, just wanna make sure of that.
You're gonna call Sarah.
I'm not saying, and then I'm gonna try to get my hands on a site plan before, or
Perfectly clear as well.
I'll call Peter first.
every time I call him, he's in Florida or not here, so. I don't know.
And I would, the other thing is give the fire marshal, have her get a contact with BJ, because I'm not positive on the wall based on square footage and what you're doing there. It might only need a smoke barrier, but that's up to BJ. So you really need to get with the fire marshal to look at that, just because your insurance is the biggest thing to cover you for any possible mishap.
No.
Because the fire marshal would know what kind of wall that is.
That's true. Does insurance people go through that building?
Well, he has to have insurance of some sort.
Did your insurance people go through the building with you?
No.
Oh, boy, don't you think you?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's, why would I honestly, you know, not like, I've been doing a little bit, but why, I would never think about that to, you know, I would never think to even ask that. I would assume that the contractor would treat it as a firewall, as it should. If you're separating a building that big, I would assume he would build it knowing, hey, anything could go in this other commercial site. So to me, it's just,
You would think.
but again.
You would think so.
Yeah, but he may have insurance on the building, but do you have insurance for running your business?
Liability insurance, and I'm an LLC as well, so,
You do?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's just it, like I said before, I don't need to change somebody's tire and then have them tell me, you know, they hit a deer and it was my fault. So, it's, what I do is, they are. I don't need that hassle at all, because I know how people are now, and they'll get everything, get what they want if they want. But, so, site plan, can this in, talk with Pete, I mean, I'm going
to talk with Pete tomorrow.
is there something I should call and ask him for?
Let me talk to him first, and then I will I'll have you call and reiterate with him what he needs to do and provide for not only yours, but any other tenants' well-being and safety in the building, and I will get a hold of the fire marshal and make sure he comes over and does a entire inspection.
Yeah, that day that he was there, I told him to come right in, tell me
You did, I was
what I
there,
gotta do.
yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
so, yeah, the more I know, like, again, I'm not playing, you know, dumb here, but the more I know, at least I can actually take actions, like Mike said, this is not where I wanna be, so I'd rather just do what I have to and keep going.
okay.
You're doing the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was doing the right thing before, honestly. Cheryl told me, she said, "Oh, that's wrong time."
See him outside.
Okay.
All set?
All set for now.
Keep
All
in
right, well, I
touch.
appreciate everything.
Keep the heat on.
Can I steal one of your cookies? Yeah. I seen them sitting there the whole time.
Can't take one, you deserve one.
Grace, they're not related to like Grace Nesbitt or. He's related to everybody.
He's running with everybody.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
You know, they own the huge farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my wife's cousin. So the Williams, you know, Terry Williams and Cindy Williams, they own north of the Ridge Campground in Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Probably more on the other
I appreciate it.
Just stoned, yeah.
I'll see you. I'll see you back.
I tell you, if he's got two furnaces,
I won't be until like 9
he's got two
o'clock.
furnaces and can't keep it warm, no fireproof
Rest of on the agenda, we don't seem to have anybody
I don't see today. We're here and you're supposed to be at zoning.
is,
Zoning item.
On this last item, I got some questions.
Okay.
When's the last building permit that was issued for this building?
for these buildings?
Any of them.
Probably never. I mean, I don't see any.
So, I mean, how can we not consider these all changes of uses and need to have new building permits or something if they're changing the use of the, I mean, you're going from an archery to a whatever.
It always was furniture, there was a custom furniture.
Just seems like we're getting kind of loose here.
A church. One way was in a church there at one time.
Rick Chrysler's been there
Baptist church.
20 years.
Yeah, okay, that's good, but, I mean, these last two are definitely different.
Behind
That was the last one I remember.
auto repair shop.
The discussion was about parking,
And they're gone
and
now.
we had someone on the plan that showed
Street was an
customer
auto
parking,
repair
employee
where-
parking.
The first guy
But
one.
it doesn't.
I remember a plan up on the concrete pad where the old building used to be, that someone used that for an area of parking and they had sketched. Okay, that may have been part of an application and never
73.
made it into the file, you know?
I would think for this last one, there should be a building permit required, in my opinion.
So what do you want to do with this last one?
We're just going to have to let them know they can come in next month.
Well, it's a generator, right?
It's a generator.
You know what? They didn't come to the last meeting.
I know. We're gonna see a whole bunch of these once the sewer's in.
That could be, that could be.
Okay.
He is scheduled to go to zoning on the 17th because
Okay,
he's in the CHA.
okay.
So he's gonna have to come back in 2 weeks after that and come back to, planning then.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Janine?
About that one or about anything?
We probably got the same email I do, but I forgot what it said. No, LWRP.
That there were some tweaks that need to be done to it, and mostly they were gonna take care of it on their end, on MRB and Johnson and Gather. But,
So that means we gotta have a lot of confidence in JP.
I would think so.
Yeah,
Or maybe Jocelyn, but, you know.
Janine, you're the puppeteer here.
the state did, I wish I could work on their schedule where they.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna have additional comments in March or maybe April. But in any event, yes, we've gotten comments and we've been trying to wait till we get through all the chapters where the state goes through them, and we'll.
Do we wanna have a meeting?
That was, I think Lori and Jocelyn suggested, let's have a stab at these, and then before we do our submission, let's meet and talk about them.
Meet in person or Zoom, or
However you folks,
I would like an in-person meeting.
yeah,
I think it's more productive.
more productive.
I hate Zoom.
So in any event, yes, these comments have been trickling in from Department of State for a long time, so.
Who's in charge of the scheduling for this one?
The clerk.
Now you. Okay, so maybe she can call Patty Jo and see,
You need to be examined.
you know, if we're about 5 weeks out or 6 weeks out, we can establish a meeting. Whether it be in the day or the afternoon or what have you.
Right,
For the committee.
I mean, Jocelyn and
Right.
Lori, I think we'd all,
Are you expecting more comments from the state? I wasn't sure if I heard that.
it seems, let me just, you'll forgive me.
We had an email that also had the projects
Please.
and had, like, the one project that was highlighted was Trauberg, the hotel.
Look at
Was it on that email? 'Cause I did get that
site
email.
plan for that building,
With all the projects.
for all of the
And then the
ducts.
only one that I saw that was highlighted.
Someone it's back from past.
Steve did call us.
I did send her the email I got. Didn't know
Industrial
if he had gotten it all.
facility. Get some grant money.
Gotta go to
All right, so
zoning board of workshop. That's what we gotta do.
Jocelyn and our group wants to dive in on the comments from the state. And we'll be scheduling a meeting with Valeria next month sometime if anyone wants to participate in this, please let us know. So that's, the game plan is, we're gonna dive in on the comments, and then we're gonna have a meeting.
So,
With the state,
She says, yeah, scheduling a meeting.
so I'm kind of thinking that maybe we should, before we go back to the state, that we should have some kind of involvement.
Site plan, we're asking.
Wouldn't you think?
hang on a minute. Yeah, I mean, unless they say these are harmless, we don't need to meet, but I would think Jocelyn should be able to decide if we should at least get a briefing.
I think if the nature of the comments are,
Minor.
change this paragraph number and format.
I don't want to have any Cyrillic comments, Russian, Romanian, or otherwise, okay? Okay. I am not going to,
She's with the Department of State. Yeah, she's the one who's gonna approve. Ultimately, it's the state who's gonna approve it.
Put the whole package together, all the stuff on the buildings that are down, the buildings that are still up, out farther to the west.
Does he know all of that?
no.
No, but let's put that together, so, and apply for a grant to have a site plan made for the industrial site.
There's a grant for that.
Yeah, there is.
Anybody else have anything?
MRP.
Except for Jim.
As you know, the sewer's going, picking up steam, so
I've seen evidence of that.
the contractor's fusing pipe up north of the Parkway, and they have rigs set up by the boat launch, and
In Martin Road, I think, too.
they have one on Martin at 260 Walker Lake. So that job's picking up, and the phone and email have been
Picking up too, right?
Just going to the grocery stores, man, challenge.
Zoning board workshop, when's the next one?
I don't have the new calendar on, it would be the, it's not on here. Oh. It's not on there. It is the fourth Thursday. It's usually the fourth Thursday.
I thought it was third Thursday.
Is it third Thursday?
I think so.
Oh, and fourth town board meeting. You're right. Third Thursday at 7 p.m.
We need new calendars.
The 19th.
They didn't come in yet,
I know.
yeah.
Be January 19th.
January 19th.
Is it the third?
Okay, from this group, and we talked about it last year, like 2 to 3 volunteers to be present, and besides myself, that would be 2, to be January 19th at the zoning board workshop. And I would like everybody to be involved at one time or another through the course of this year. Okay? So, you can contact Cheryl, let her know, and reminders can be sent out, okay? And if everybody volunteers, then we'll do it, just establish a schedule. A lot of things that came up tonight, and some things that we're gonna be doing in the future, we're gonna need to be discussing, and the zoning board members that are there, and the other attorney and stuff, they need to have some additional input, it shouldn't all be just on their shoulders. Okay, so you guys look at your schedule, and if you're available over the next couple of months, I'd like 2 other people besides myself, and I'll need a reminder daily, because I can't remember where I was yesterday.
Just email them all to us when they, yeah, okay.
All right? I think you'll find it rewarding.
Will Sharon be there with cookies? That may be a factor.
Well, maybe,
He didn't say that.
Jim will be there.
What time is it on the 19th?
Anybody, if there ain't anything else, I entertain a motion.
Motion adjourned. Motion adjourned.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
In favor? Okay.